Hey guys, welcome back to the third part of getting to know Ion Farmakides again here at Pearl Lemon. Ion, how you doing, brother?
Pretty well, sir. How you doing?
I'm good. I wanted to talk about today about your also evolution in terms of like managing an actual sales team. I was quite curious to kind of understand, what that experience has been like for you. Do you want to briefly first talk a little bit about your experiences from, I guess it would have been with the events company originally that you first began to manage people and talk a little bit about what it's like, what it's just like in general.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you're right. It was started entry level, like we discussed in the previous video, and then just worked myself up. So I think I reached a stage where it was kind of time naturally to kind of share my knowledge that I had acquired, the job-based knowledge at least, with new recruits. So then became a team leader. So started having a couple of people working in my team, and it just organically grew. Then became, I think it was assistant manager, then manager, senior manager, whatever the ranks were. But I think it was more to do with working with people rather than having people work for me.
Okay.
And always try to kind of lead by example, and knowing for a fact that people aren't going to just, I mean, look, people can do things you tell them to do. It's a job, they'll smile, they'll do it anyway, but they won't put their heart into it unless they feel that, okay, this is going somewhere, I'm being appreciated, depending on what each person needs. But I felt that because that's also how I am, to a degree. I felt that, this seems natural to me, let's see how it works. And it went pretty well. I mean, even years after I left the company, there were people still there that I recruited, found, led, or the part of the team I was running. And it's really about, I feel, finding what each person is good at in the first place. When during the recruitment process, not everybody's going to fit the same mold, or, fit in the same box, and then try to nurture that part of the salesperson which will ultimately benefit both them and the company, as well as you as a team leader, or you running it. So it was, it's a learning curve, a fairly long one. I feel like I'm a fairly good judge of character. So for me, it was more about finding intelligent people who I could work together well with. It didn't matter what they knew, because they would pick it up eventually. I knew nothing when I started, and I think it's way more about someone's attitude, and then work with that. Because if somebody is very good at sales, but they don't want to be part of a team, or they don't want to work, under somebody, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
You got your lone wolves, and then you got your team players. So I feel it's about finding those individuals, and then let them do what they do well. Maybe steer them in the right direction.
How do you cope with the egos? Like, it must be a bit of a challenge, right? You want them to have egos, I presume, but then at the same time, people need to function as a team. And I've always felt that there's always that kind of lone wolf mentality a little bit with the salesperson. That's perhaps different from, I don't know, an operations, side of the business. So what was that like for you at the events company?
Do you know what? It depends, because it's sometimes like I never feel like it's if you hire, and anybody in HR will and anybody who's ever managed people will agree. It's really all done in the recruitment process.
Okay.
Because these are things you can pick up: how big somebody's ego is, how likely they are to, follow a deadline or whatever it is. And then knowing that information, then it's on you. Okay. So if somebody is like crazy, like, loose cannon-y cowboy type of, a guy or a girl, knowing that in advance, you can use it to your benefit. And you can say, look, if that's how they are, changing people is unrealistic.
Okay.
Especially after a certain age and a certain, after a certain type of, or rather a certain amount of experience is gained. You can't just say, okay, well, just change your style now. It's going to be like, well, I can adapt maybe, but in somebody's core, if you let somebody loose and say, if you had a truth serum or like a polygraph or whatever, and say, well, tell me what you really think or what you would really like to do right now.
Yeah.
They would tell you, right? And it wouldn't be what the company wanted.
Yeah.
So I feel that as long as you're comfortable with either a certain amount of ego, a certain type of personality, or whatever it is, then it's on you, because you knew that when you were hiring the person.
Mm-hmm.
You can get it wrong occasionally, but yeah, I felt that those types of people, I needed to show them that, okay, not that I'm necessarily better than them, but I'm good enough so that they would want to follow me rather than me lead them.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, because
Yeah.
it's very it's super common. Do this because it's your job. Fine, I'll do it, but I'm not going to like it,
Yeah.
and I may not do it well. I'm going to do it last minute. You know, as long as I get my basic salary, right?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So there's that mentality,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
there's the mentality of, ooh, I really feel like I could gain something. Look at this guy. He's doing it anyway. I might as well just get on with it. And then some of the best salespeople are those types of, loose cannony type salespeople. They should just be left loose, as long as they understand that there are some certain guidelines. And I was never great at following the rules anyway, but there are. If you're working for somebody or if you're within an organization, there are usually, some call them rules or objectives, whatever it is. You just have to follow, again, to a degree, because I also learned that if you make enough money for the company, it doesn't matter what you do, bottom line. A lot of the time. And I've seen it in person, I've seen it with colleagues. And I think that if you start a business relationship the right way, then it doesn't really matter. As long as you know that, okay, this type of person is, and that's trial and error. Can I actually work with this type of ego? Can I work with somebody who needs hand-holding? Can I work with somebody who's, that's...
Do you end up seeing then... With all of those factors in play, I mean, I don't. Is there like higher than average churn? Do you think in sales roles? Do you see a lot of people kind of come and go, or do people tend to stick? Yeah.
Look, I mean, again, it depends. It depends on the type of sales role. There are people who just can't do it, not because they're not capable. It's not just the ability of it. It's just people won't allow themselves to open up to the possibility to be good at something like this.
Okay, so it's like a mindset thing, you mean?
But largely, because it's not. Look, you can pick up anything as long as you apply yourself and there's a certain type of spark there, right?
Yeah.
There's not, talent is like exercise and sticking to it, but there has to be, for whatever reason, a degree of interest towards the field, or wanting to negotiate, close people, speak to people on the phone, communicate. If that's there, then I think that anybody could do it, again, to a degree.
Okay, yeah.
But it's so easy to get it wrong as an employee and say, you know what, I'm going to love this. And you're thinking, I can't deal with rejection.
Okay.
Like, no, oh my God, no, no, what do you mean no? I can't do this. People are saying no to me. I don't want to do this anymore. So is
that one of the biggest things that you see break people in your experience? Then, when you look at the teams that you've managed or the teams that you've been part of, what is the kind of de facto reason that you see once they're past probation or even in probation, you see salespeople kind of stumble upon and ultimately move on?
It can be. I think that because of again, I wouldn't recruit easily. For me, I would meet with a lot of people before finding the people I wanted to work with. And I did get it wrong a couple of times, but then, there are people still working there now who I either recruited directly or helped recruit or was a part of the interview process, because I could feel that, okay, this person should be doing this.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's one of the main things, like rejection is a huge thing, especially when depending on what you're selling, obviously. Because they're small ticket items which are bound to have more success rates, or larger success rates rather. And then somebody who's looking to sell, if you're cold calling to sell, I don't know, like private jets, you're gonna get a lot of no's.
Yeah.
Right. But then the commission is going to be big enough to make the whole year up. So I think it's one of the major factors that kind of deter people from continuing, for sure.
Okay. No, that makes sense. And do you Did you miss? Because I presume when you go into a management position, I mean, you're not on the phones anymore, are you? I mean, you're managing a team of people, right? Was that what ended up happening when you became the sales manager, the sales director, or whatever? Did you stop being on the phone, or was it juggling?
It was definitely juggling, because in that company there were always the personal sales that which is where you made the most money anyway.
Okay, yeah.
The trick was, in the beginning, I think everybody falls in the same trap, and it wasn't just the company I work for. I presume it's if you're expected to continue producing personally, those numbers are going to suffer, or you're going to end up being a bad manager.
Okay.
because you still need to bring your guys and gals up to a level of they can do it on their own now, and then you can focus more on your personal business.
Yeah.
I think it depends on because I haven't really had experience managing a sales team without having to do anything sales related or like any personal business personally. I could see it, and I was decent at. I mean, I enjoyed working with people,
Yeah.
and I was good at closing their business. I was good at maintaining a relationship with their clients. All that stuff was, and I enjoyed it
Yeah.
quite a bit in working with people,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But in terms of you from my experience at least, you could be more successful financially just closing your own business and focusing on your own pitches
Okay.
because you can control more of the more of the situation. And it's definitely, if you have to also perform personally, I think it's for sure a challenge. If you then have to just kind of, let's say, be promoted to
Yeah.
just manage people, then it's, there are more things out of your control. And I think it depends on the type of person you are, but that would dictate how good you would be in each kind of in each sense or in both.
Yeah, it must be tough. I mean, it must be tough, like managing as well as performing at the same time. It sounds like an awful lot to try and pull together. And I mean, when a salesperson goes into a management role, is it that you get an increase in your base plus a trail commission from the team that you manage? Is that typically
Usually.
what tends? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because the incentive is okay. What's the override? How much is my time worth? How much time should I spend? And to me, it was always, if you're gonna work with people, you have to devote like a lot of time. You have to give them a chance to do it well.
Yeah.
You can't just say, well, you know what? If I pitch this guy, I'm gonna make X amount, and if I close your guy, I'm gonna make Y amount. And X is going to be bigger. You can't look at it that way because that way nobody would ever run a team.
Yeah.
So yeah, sure, you get a better basic. You get your override, you get your perks, you get your
Does override mean a share of the deal? Is that what
it's commission? Yeah, exactly. It's then depending on what the structure looks like. It's you then form part of the deal, but it's also like give and take because you should be either closing the deal.
Yeah.
For them
Yeah.
to kind of earn the commission or the part. It's not the commission, the percentage of it. Or then you manage a large enough team where you're bringing enough of the revenue to warrant having some sort of increase.
Okay. Got it. That makes sense. And do you I mean, now looking back on it, was running a sales team something that you enjoyed, or in hindsight you're like, you know what, on balance, I quite enjoy it. Having my own list of prospects and working through these guys. Like, what has been better for you of the two?
I enjoy both. I think that if you break it down, it's being on your own is less, not less work, but it's easier to manage in the sense that there are way less variables.
Yeah.
In the equation, and you can say, look, I know that on a good day, I can get this business in.
Yeah.
Then somebody who works for you or works with you on a good day, maybe they can't do as well.
Okay. Yeah.
So in that respect, it's like, oh, well, it's more work because then you have to go in and they don't want to hear it. And okay, why did this deal not close? And why did these people not want to work with you? What was the problem?
Yeah.
And go through. But then that also has its, and you also grow through that process. I've learned like a ton from working with people, and I've learned from them. I'm sure they've learned from me. But overall, I've enjoyed both. What I think, rather, the way I think you should look at it is, what are you selling? What does the organization look like? And then based on that, you can say, okay, it's better to run a team or it's better to do it on your own.
Okay. Fascinating. Yeah, no, I was curious to see your experiences with what it's been like within the team, and how I've met you, being part of a team that's kind of fluctuated. We've as had turnover. With finding good salespeople is hard, dude. It's
Well, look, it's finding good people is hard, period. And it doesn't mean that, I'm good, you're good. It's like you have to gel with the rest of the team. You have to understand and get the product. And the bottom line is, it's not selling because we're not, it's not like I want to push this SEO on you. It's if people really, it's like we were talking about in the previous video. If somebody really has a need and wants to find out more about a product, then it's about presenting it in the right way.
Yeah.
We don't push the people. We don't have any like sales scheme of like do this and you get this for free. It's all about, listen, if you're interested, if you need the SEO, you need the lead gen, you need the PR, we're definitely a good candidate to speak to.
Yeah.
Let's have a conversation, see how it goes. Because maybe you don't trust me. I am Greek at the end of the day. I don't think anybody should. Just put something together which makes sense for both parties.
Yeah.
That to me is what sales are. And again, we spoke about it in the previous one. Sales I think it has so much negative connotation that comes with it. Because you're thinking, oh, this guy sold me on this guy sold me on that. Do you know what? I mean, like I bought my Mac. I was happy buying the Mac. Somebody sold it to me. It's not like somebody tricked me into buying it. I buy my phone, I buy my this, I buy my that. There's always a transaction.
Yeah.
And what you have to, and I always tell my guy, any client we have will tell you, I tell them, listen, this has to make sense for them before it makes sense for anybody else.
Yeah.
If it doesn't make sense, I don't want to talk to you. But not in a bad way. What are we going to do here?
Yeah.
Do you really want me to convince you to buy? I'll convince you. I'll trick you into buying something. Is that what,
Yeah.
Then what?
Yeah.
Then a month down the line, they turn around and say, well, this isn't this, this isn't that. So to me, it's like, listen, if somebody, and you can do this cold calling, you can do this receiving a call or a lead or a pitch or whatever. You can uncover demand or need or want.
Yeah.
I can speak to you and you can say, what the hell do you want? I don't want to speak to you right now.
Yeah.
Say, hey, listen, man, I think putting your face on a pillow is all the rage these days. And I just wanted to see if you were interested. That's all. You have such a pretty face. Look at that smile. I mean, come on. It's got to be on a pillow. And then maybe you're thinking, gee, my face on a pillow. You know what? Why not? Well, boom. Listen, I'm going to magically make one appear to your left.
Yeah.
Where's my money? There you go. It's
Brilliant. Yeah.
I'm just waffling on, obviously, but
it's okay. Listen, it's a brilliant way to wrap up today's conversation. To be honest with you, the pillow example was bloody brilliant. Ion, I mean, it's been great to understand the nuances of building a team versus or managing a team probably versus being an individual within a team or just being a solo salesperson as well and understanding what's involved with demonstrating value on a sales call and you looking back at the history of the challenges that you've had with working in a team or being an individual. So, dude, thank you again as ever for today. And
thank you, sir.
Guys, if you're listening, you'll catch Ion and I back again at some point in the future soon. See ya.
See you guys. Thanks.